Now, what if you could turn your downtime into an interesting side hustle, which would be poker? And for me, I've been doing this as an actual side hustle for over a decade. I play a few times a week, mainly at night, and I lock in for the time I'm playing. Obviously, poker is a game of skill, guys. It takes time to build the skills necessary to get to a certain level or threshold. But once you do, it is a great feeling. And I would recommend playing Six Max. This is what I mainly play, and I got a really good session to go over here playing some 500 NL. I also want to let you guys know we have an awesome community where you could talk with me, other high level members in the pinned comment. Hope to see you in there. Also, if you guys could tap the like, and let's get right into this, man. Now, this is going to run for maybe close to like 20 minutes, and I'm just going to be breaking down some interesting spots we had and, why I made the plays I made. But, Six Max for me, it's just, it's faster paced than like a full table of like 9 people, you know what I'm saying? So you get to just see more hands per hour. It kind of teaches you to just be more aggressive, which you need to be when you're playing, poker in general. But anyways, I'm going to protect here in the big blind with an ace four. And we're going to take a flop. Also, if you guys want to message me below in the comments, you can do that as well. But yeah, definitely stick around to the end of this because, we are going to have some, like I said, interesting spots throughout this. And I like giving you my thought process for why I make some of these plays. But, getting two pair on the flop here. Turn card was a queen. This guy was continuing to kind of like just go with it. He put out an 80-piece chicken nugget right here. I just came over the top for 475. And I'll tell you guys what, I felt like this was the play. Some hands I might be targeting right there. Maybe some ace kings, maybe some ace tens, maybe even some ace jack suiteds. But the play worked. We took it down and, kind of on to the next one here, which is going to be a 9-10. Now, I think I folded this, but let's see here. I'm always playing, so sometimes I forget what happens in some of these, when I'm running it back for you guys. I'm surprised if I didn't call here. I'm kind of surprised I didn't. This is definitely decent enough to make a call. Now, you always got to, keep in mind here, first or second player to act, like when a hand starts. If they're open raising, they typically have a decent hand. I gave it up. Probably should have just played it anyways, but I guess I just didn't want to. Sometimes I like to say too, like when I can't make sense of why I did something, sometimes I'm like, maybe I needed a bathroom break and I just, didn't want to play that hand. Hey, it's my excuse. I'm going to use it. All right. Whatever. All right, here we had a jack deuce, folded it, but starting this one off pretty decent. We're up a little bit here to start things off. Like I said, just continue sticking with me because it is going to get better, and we are going to kind of just do our thing in this one. We are going to do our thing, okay? And I think probably by the time we get to the end of this, you'll, even for like a shorter session here, definitely did pretty good. Most definitely. All right, next hand we have a ace jack suited. Very nice looking hand. We're gonna open here to the 1250 piece. A little 1250 piece going on right here. Player 4. What you gonna do, man? Now, definitely hoping somebody would raise us here, which would be totally fine. Ace jack, it's one of those hands where if it's not suited, it's like kind of hard to play, but when it's suited, you're feeling pretty good about it. All right, so player 6 is going to make a call here. Let's see if player 1 and player 2 did, possibly. All right, not a good flop. However, this necessarily isn't a good flop for these other two players, so throwing a little something out there could just get them both to fold at this point, which is what my thinking was. So put 19 out there. And like I said, just kind of hoping this gets them both off the hand. There is a spade draw out there. You got a lot of other kind of like weird straight draws. You got some 7/8s, 7/4s, maybe some 8/9s call here. I don't know. But our play worked. You know, it was a bad flop. Likely missed our opponents. Turn card would have been a 10. So we would have missed on the turn, but whatever. We still took it down, and we continue to chug along here, as I like to say, chug along. All right, 10-4 suited in the big blind. This hand's like obviously not anything special. I think I just opted to check here, and we hit a pair of tens, which was good. I'm actually okay checking this over to the turn. We didn't really put anything in this, so, you know, I'm totally fine checking this to showdown, honestly. But I did throw out a little 5-piece just to see where this guy was at. You know, sometimes this play will work and just get him to fold right away, which is what I was thinking, and guess what? It did. Turn card would have been a 3. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, we progress. Okay, ace king offsuit, open raising. Let's see if anybody raised us here. I think maybe we just had a caller in this. We will find out. All right, coming back around to player 1 and player 2. Now let's take a look at the table. So, you know, we started with 500. Player 6 doing pretty decent. Player 1's getting going, and then player 2. You know, and then I feel like everyone is probably playing pretty solid at this table for the most part. Now we had a king 3 suited in the big blind here. We are going to make a call here, and it's going to be this was an interesting play that I made. All right, so I think this is the hand too. Yeah, player 6 is going to, I believe, raise, and we're just going to protect. Now our hand's not super strong, but at the same time it is suited, and you know, if you looked at this from the standard way to play this, it's a call. So we're just going to call. We're not going to raise. We're not going to get out of line here. We're just going to protect and hopefully get a couple clubs on the flop would be nice. Maybe a couple threes, you know. I'll take it. I'll bake it. Take it, bake it. I think I thought about raising him. Let's see what I actually did here. No, yeah, I just called. And the flop was not what we wanted. We got 2 queens out there and just 1 3. Now, we wanted 2 3s on this flop, but, you know, didn't get it. I'm not going to cry about it. And we're just going to take it from here. Now, what was interesting is this guy's going to put out, like, a really small sizing. And I was thinking to myself, like, why are you going so small here? So I just called. Turn card is going to be it's not really going to make a difference to me when the turn hits here. So I thought about folding this, but no, I'm going to keep this guy honest. Check the turn 9. Not really changing anything for me here, to be completely fair. I'm just going to see what he's going to do here. So he's actually going to end up checking it, I think, to the river, which was interesting. I think if you have a queen here, you're not checking because there's a flush draw out there as well. 10 on the turn, I'm sorry, the river. And, you know, the nice thing about this river card is I think we know at this point he probably doesn't have a queen, most likely. We're also blocking king jack, so we're blocking some straights. So what I actually ended up doing here was it seemed like maybe he was going for like a value sizing with the 26. I'm going to raise him, which is kind of like a weird play to make, but it's a bluff, you know. So I kicked it up to 96. I'm trying to make this look like I have it, and I'm trying to get some value out of it. And guess what, guys? Our play worked right there, and we took it down. How about that? I'm going to pat myself on the back right now for that one because I thought that was pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? All right, and we progress. So, yeah, we're doing pretty good here, you know, kind of making our way up a little bit, feeling good about it. And now we got a king-queen offsuit in the big blind, so another good hand to have here in the big blind to make any calls with. You know, and that's what we're going to do here. Now, I think player 1's going to put in a raise. I could have raised him, you know. He's on the button here. He could be opening with a lot of different hands. However, you know, I think I'm pretty sure I just called. Let me see if I raised. I think raising would have made a lot more sense. Sometimes, like I said, I don't remember why I do certain things. I just kind of do them in the moment. But I think that I just called here. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, and the flop was actually pretty decent. You know, we got a queen out there. We don't have any diamonds. But we have top pair. And I feel like a lot of the time when you get like top pair like this, there's all these draws out there. It's like never easy, but you know, we're just going to call and continue to the turn. I'd like to see a 3-4 deuce that's not a diamond on the turn would be exactly what we're looking for. I think a part of me was thinking about raising here, but I'm not. I'm just gonna make a call, I think, and we're just gonna go to the turn. Hopefully see a low card. I did put the time bank on for a second so I can kind of think about what to do here. Okay, and we got what we wanted, the 2. All right, so no flushes got there. Not a whole lot to worry about here, honestly. I was actually expecting this guy to just check it, you know, maybe, but he went for 45. Decent size here, which kind of threw me off a little bit. It seems a little bluffy to me, like he wants to get me off the hand. So I am going to make a call, and we're going to see a river card and hopefully get another like low card, like a 3-4 or something like that. All right, so the 6 was a good card. And now we had to figure out, what does this guy have? And I don't know if I made the right play or the wrong play here. I did notice, though, player 1 was playing like super tight. He went huge. He threw out 277 here. We only have top pair. Now, to me, what this guy is repping, Jack 10, like he flopped a straight. He's also maybe got pocket 9s or pocket 8s or something. So I let it go. It was a tough fold, but he made it a little bit easier because he went so large. You know what I'm saying? So kind of a disciplined fold right there. I just don't see it being a bluff. I just didn't see it being a bluff. He just went way too large. It just seemed like he was just trying to, yeah, it didn't feel like a bluff. Sometimes you'll have like that sense, you know, the more you play, and it right there, to me, he had the goods. So we gave it up and we progress on here. Hope you guys are enjoying what you're seeing so far. All right, pocket ducks in a pond swimming. And of course we don't get the duck. Would have been nice to hit that duck. Come on, ducks. No ducks. All right, turn card 9. Player 2. Yeah, we just folded this. I mean, what are we going to do here? This guy's probably repping an ace. Oh, man. And of course, 3. You know, didn't get what we needed. Okay, so now going down a little bit. This is kind of how it goes. It's swingy sometimes, guys. Variance when you're playing, totally normal. But yeah, I hope you guys are ready because we still got some big stuff coming up here. All right, pocket 9s. Let's go. Player 1's going to call. And this hand, like, this was a rough one. So, I mean, this is a pretty good flop for 9s. There's a 10 out there. This guy doesn't necessarily have to have the 10. I put in a small continuation here, which, you know, you normally would. And he is going to make a call. So we are going to go to the turn here. I didn't go too large. I think I was just kind of feeling him out. 13, I'm going to call. Now, this is the mistake I made. I should have continued here on the turn instead of just, you know, allowing him to float it to the river. Because there's still a lot of cards that could hurt us, but I played this hand poorly. I guess I was just hoping to go to showdown here and, you know, hope he's got nothing. And, you know, the river's kind of like a blank, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like an 8. 7, like another deuce, 4, 6 of pairs of the board, or a 10. However, it was an ace, and unfortunately for us, this guy is going to have the ace. So he got lucky on this. He did check it though, and he turned over ace 8. He got, you know, super lucky on us, and it happens, guys. This kind of stuff happens. All right, but that brings us up to the biscuits of this this one. We got an ace king here. And this is where we're going to see some stuff happen, right? And, you know, I think I played this probably the way you would normally. You know, ace, king. When it's offsuit, it's a little bit trickier. When it's suited, it's like a no-brainer. But we're going to end up getting it all in this one. And, yeah, I mean, you'll probably just want to buckle up here, you know, and kind of get ready for it. Because I'll tell you guys what, this was a make or break for us in this one. I slowed it down too, so I can kind of just go over my thought process on it. And you know, of course, as we're, you know, getting into this one, like I said, man, check out the pin comment. Hope to see you guys in the community soon. We could talk. All right, here we go. All right, player 5, open it to the 1250 piece chicken nug, and I am gonna raise this up. I think to 42. Throw a little BBQ sauce on this. Stir it up a little bit, you know, get those chicken nuggets stirred up in some BBQ. All right, so what I didn't expect here was another raise, which is what we're going to be dealing with here. And it's always, you know, you always have to like think these kind of things through, especially because, you know, we're playing with a decent amount here. But, you know, got to think it through. And I did think it through. And this was just like, what is going on here? You don't really see this happen too much, but every once in a while, you get yourself in a good position, and we are going to be in a good position here. Now, player 4 is going to raise us, I think, to 110. I felt like we only had one play to make after this, guys, and it was just to come over the top, which is exactly how the cookie is going to crumble, I guess. Well, I guess I'll say that one today. All right, so, yeah, here we go. The time has come. Thinking this through a little bit, you got to understand, like, when we have an ace-king, we're blocking pocket aces and pocket kings, okay? So it's good to have that information. He still could have pocket aces or pocket kings. It's just a lot less likely because we have both those cards. So we're going to go over the top here. He's going to make a call here pretty quick, too. Like, he had the goods, and he turned over queen 10 suited, which was like a super loose play. Now, he did outflop us, but we do have some cards we did, and we did. We hit the ace on the turn, feeling good about that. And guess what, guys? We took down a massive one right there. And, yeah, that's just kind of how things went for us in this one. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it. I thought we went over some interesting hands. Check out the pinned comment, subscribe, tap the like, and we'll see you guys in the next one.